Hello, everybody, and welcome back to sweptmedia here at the convergence of AI and Web3. Today, we're going to be doing a revisit of MAIAR. This is the agentic framework that I talked about maybe about 2 weeks ago and compared it to Eliza OS. MAIAR is the AI framework, AI agentic framework that focuses on composability and extensibility. So basically, if you're a developer and you can develop an AI agent to do basically anything you want, it's very easy to add any type of functionality that you can imagine using MAIAR and then extend it onto as an extension onto a browser, for example, or any application that you see fit to deploy on. That is from the MAIAR workflow. That of course comes with other drawbacks, which I think I talked about in the last one. Compared it to Eliza, which has a much more linear type of workflow, and up until then was not necessarily composable. Although now I think there is composability involved with Eliza, much more composability and extensibility. Since then, though, MAIAR has made a number of great updates, and we can see that this announcement from MAIAR about their phase 3 of their development has gained some traction, about 10,000, 11,000 views, over 100 likes. So they are gaining mind share, and I know that they've got a lot of more developers now interested in building with the MAIAR framework. But we'll take a look at what this phase 3 means, what the main MAIAR developer behind the agentic framework has to say about it, and what one of their main contributors has done as part of launching this phase 3. So the first bit about this is building through this cycle. Basically, what he's talking about is, we're in kind of a bear market now. I don't know how long it'll last, but you can't deny things are down. Everything is down. And that includes MAIAR token. The next bit is about the dev wallet and contributor incentives. There's a bounty program, which I'll take a look at on their GitHub in a little bit. Basically, the developer wallet, there's a vesting duration of 3 months, and the funds from the wallet are distributed to a public treasury wallet with a cliff of 20% unlocked right away. So as soon as you're awarded tokens for a bounty, for a successful bounty, you get 20% of the rewards right away, and then the rest are vested in an equal amount weekly. And then through that bounty program, your rewards are distributed through a purse wallet for extra security, basically a wall of security. It goes from the treasury wallet to a purse wallet, basically a holding wallet, a staging wallet, and then from the staging wallet to your wallet if you are claiming a bounty. They're continuing to expand the MAIAR framework with new capabilities such as developer UX upgrades, client monitoring dashboard, better integration tools, improved profiling and CLI tools. These are all things that it's kind of vague. What does developer UI mean? There's not a whole lot of detail about that in this upgrade, but by looking through the MAIAR Discord and their docs, you can kind of get where they're going with it. Same with better integration tools. Better is a very weak word to use to describe something. It's kind of like saying more. Well, what does more mean? What does better mean? Better compared to what? There should be some more detail in this. So you cannot glean too much information from this, but what you can determine is that they are working hard to make MAIAR a better platform for developers. Certainly not ready for the retail side yet, because this messaging is quite lacking, which is why I'm here, of course. Project management and marketing overhaul. Here we go, marketing. Shipping undeniable improvements, and that's about messaging and marketing. And then creative and strategic branding, again, marketing stuff. Their messaging is quite consistent. However, the messaging from MAIAR is very dense, and that's not easy to digest for many people. These videos that I make for you guys are for the entire crypto community, but it serves best to shed some light on developments in MAIAR as it relates to developments in AI and Web3, which is where we're at with Swept. So breaking down what MAIAR does is good for everybody, but what I'm saying is MAIAR could definitely be best served by improving the way that their messaging is distributed to their own community. That's just my opinion, of course. My background is in marketing and creating content. So, I mean, that's where I can see it right away. It's pretty obvious that they need improvements there. Agent driven marketing and branded content production, exactly. Some roadmap objectives they have to handle MAIAR community updates and marketing. Revenue generation, that's going to be through Uranium Corporation actively developing partnerships and collaborations. That would be along the lines of what other projects are going to be working with MAIAR. Does that mean that they will be onboarding popular developers to deploy AI agents? Does that mean that they will be start showcasing agents that are deployed by MAIAR through a dashboard, kind of like what Virtuals does. Virtuals does that pretty well, about how they're showing like the mind share of an agent that has been deployed with them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So lofty goals in the sense that there isn't a whole lot of specifics given to them to these goals. Even within marketing, you can have very specific KPIs, very specific goals to hit for how you want your messaging to be distributed by the numbers. Those things are not put in here, but the sense that you should be getting from this is they're aware of shortcomings that are going to be shored up, or at least that they aim to shore up. So this is the MAIAR X account that displays this next thing. Now, the next update here, aside from them announcing phase 3, which seems to be very focused on UX and marketing improvements, the next one is a functionality thing, mainly for developers on the back end functionality. This is called multimodal capabilities. This is from Zeman Tech. He's a contributor to MAIAR. What I've done is I've used Grok to summarize his article about agent interactions and multimodal models. What I have been able to figure out from this is that MAIAR is building basically when you want to deploy, let's say 10 different agents at the same time, a swarm, the way that it works with any swarm is they're set across they're oriented horizontally, and then there's a leader at the top, and those might be set into groups. So there might be three and four different agents in 3 different groups. That is 3 agents in one group, 3 agents in one group, and 4 agents in another. Each of those 3 groups has a leader, and then there might be a single leader at the very top of them, which is usually the human. MAIAR is trying to streamline that by making agents across modes, across platforms, across extensions, even be within the same swarm, be within the same group, so that you have one leader across different extensions. This is something I don't think I've seen too much before. I know that in gaming they're doing something like this, but across platforms, functioning across platforms, that's an extremely difficult backending. Like even if you have a single set of agents that are working on X and Discord and Reddit and LinkedIn all at the same time, there's the way that they're extracting data is each of them is very, very different. And that would mean that the way that they're structuring the data has to be different until it can get into the proper data bucket. A lot of processing power goes into that. And then a single leader is in charge of managing each of those types of agents. It's quite complicated on the back end. So if MAIAR is able to streamline that and make it easier to deploy agents that do that in a swarm with a single human leader, then congratulations to them. So what I'll do here is I'll read off what Zeman says, or the summary of what Zeman's article is about. Zeman's post outlines MAIAR's AI's shift toward multimodal models, enabling agents to process and generate various data types such as text, images, audio, enhancing their ability to handle diverse inputs natively rather than converting everything to text. Okay, so rather than having to take inputs from different multimedia sources, converting it to text, and then making it into an output for you, for example, through a chatbot. They can make outputs in any of those multimedia settings. Very good stuff. The post envisions agents as collaborative tools that offload technical tasks while keeping humans in control of decision making, illustrated by an example where an agent monitors a Discord for MAIAR queries, seeks user approval for responses, and iterates based on feedback. So the agent is able to basically perform a poll, and then get feedback, written feedback for people's choices in the chat, and then iterate an output based on all of those inputs at the same time. MAIAR's development includes plans for improved context management, more data source plugins, and enhanced user interaction capabilities to support this human-agent collaboration, aligning with broader trends in AI towards versatile interactive systems. So context management is basically remembering what each user has put as an input. And if this means across platforms and across extensions, that's quite impressive. So basically, this is if you are using the mobile app or you're using an extension on your desktop browser, or if there's a plugin, a widget on a website, or maybe Web 4 version where you don't even have any medium at all. Like there's no app and there's no web browser you have to go through. It's just on your system all the time, kind of like Copilot is on Windows systems now. All of the inputs are put together and remembered by whatever agent it is that you've deployed via MAIAR. That has tremendous implications in the sense that it can remember everything, all inputs across all platforms, so it can learn at an extremely rapid pace. Another implication is that it's remembering everything, so you might want to be able to turn that off if it's remembering everything from all users all the time. So some people might be unnerved by that. But cool, that's a really neat thing to see. Next, let's take a look at what the main dev had to say. I talked to him recently, asked him what all this stuff is about, and I'll read off his responses here. I asked him, I said, hoping to get a quote about where MAIAR's headed, like, are these updates value adds, or is it all going to converge into in a deliberate way? Like, is there a overarching plan, or right now are you just building a platform with various different types of functionality, and then once that kind of groundwork is laid, then you can start to put the umbrella over it? Or is this all part of the umbrella that you have in mind? And where did you get your compute power from, and roughly how much are you consuming? He said, we're going to start to see a lot of this converge. So all the updates that have been made, it's all part of a larger plan. And basically the phase 3 that I mentioned is in regard to marketing, is going to bring in a social agent. So probably that means they're going to be building their own agent to perform a lot of the marketing tasks for them. That dramatically leapfrogs the current landscape. Bold statement. A good way to see how this is all coming together would be to look at the bounties we currently have posted on our GitHub bounty board, which we've also taken the time to explain our goals and mindset in our phase 3 rollout article. I'll show you the bounty backlog in a little bit. We want to see our current efforts manifested as a next generation social agent using the Uranium CEO as the flagship demonstration. What else? I think a really cool demo would be for you to interview the CEO once he's ready in the coming weeks, which I will do. Right now, as far as computer power, it's a lot of OpenAI credits. Guess that makes sense. However, we do ship first-class support for Olama, and for much of the early days pre-launch, I was using DeepSeek 14B, my M1 Max. Not a super heavy system, so he's illustrating that you can definitely locally run a MAIAR agent with a decent laptop or GPU right now. Good stuff. Let's go back and see what the bounty board looks like. This is their bounty backlog, and you can see what they're trying to build. Eliza has a bounty backlog. Of course, Virtuals has one. This is a very common thing for developers. You perform a task that they're asking for, you build the thing that the project needs, and then you get a reward for it. This one is scaling out the amount of features present in the agent monitor dashboard. That would be similar to the thing I was talking about with Virtuals, where they're good at monitoring what each of their agents are doing. It would be great to be able to add panels with different views for data, so different data panels, adding event filters and other things, tab views to store multiple layouts or focus groups. Okay, that's one. And then the next one is want to establish some sort of messaging hierarchy so that the context is properly constructed. Okay, so that's the context part. We'll leave global conversation object that items can be stored into. That'll be a very large object. Okay, so there's a lot of work being done in the background to basically answer the questions that I've asked in my own video here about where MAIAR is going. So in short, there'll be marketing support. They'll be using a social agent. They are asking people to build some pretty complex things like building an object, building data dashboards, and with presumably, a very nice UI to go along with it, and getting context across platforms and functionality, deployability across platforms, meaning across extensions and across different instances of MAIAR AI deployed agents themselves. So maybe next time I'll talk to that Uranium CEO. Thanks a lot. Catch you next time.